on 1 second.
Oh, wait a minute.
Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. Tamika,
Huh?
let me see those trigger fingers, girl. All right, let's see what they do tonight.
You funny.
You on it last week. She took all my money.
All money. That is it. So it's 8. We'll give some, it's 8:03, but I guess we can start. So, and as people join in, we'll just always welcome them and just thank them for being a part of our Friday night call. Yeah, I know when it's Friday, I get excited. Thursdays, I get excited. Thursday and Fridays are the best days of the week for me. I am very grateful to and it's crazy because Thursday and Friday, I get all excited for my phone call. One at 7, they're both at 8:00, Thursday and Friday. So those are good days for me. I get super excited. So tonight, guys, we want to welcome you to the Debt Weapon Call tonight. Our training, well, not a training class, but this is the time when we give out a lot of different nuggets and information. I am Renee Allen. I am one of the coaches here tonight. And I will actually be hosting the call tonight. So we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to go over and do, Saber, did you make me the host?
Yes, ma'am.
You did already?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, we're going to start like we always do. And we are going to start with, you guys see my screen? Yes, no, maybe?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we always going to start with our declaration, and you guys know that we hold this dear to us, so it means a lot to us because we put it together. So if you want to unmute yourselves to participate and engage with me, that would be great. And we're gonna go ahead and start and repeat after me. So this is my life.
This is my life.
For today, my mindset has changed.
I declare today that my mind has changed.
I am clear about my path.
I am clear about my path.
I am debt free.
I am debt free.
I walk in the understanding of my finances.
I walk in the understanding of my finances.
I control my spending habits.
I control my spending habits.
My favorite part, everybody know every Friday night, this is my favorite part. So I need y'all to say it like y'all really mean it. I am not a consumer.
I am not a
consumer.
I am an investor.
I am an investor.
My money works for me.
My money works for me.
All things are possible to me because I believe.
All things are possible to me because I believe.
I am financially sexy.
I
am financially sexy.
And I won't give up.
And I won't give up.
Oh, thank you. Y'all know how we do every Friday, right? I usually start the call off with how y'all feeling, but tonight we're gonna do something a little bit different. So just bear with me, but we're gonna go through the process. So as I said, my name is Renee Allen. I am one of the Debt Weapon coaches. I'm a very proud and I feel like it's an honor to be a coach in this program because this program has changed my life. And not only that, but I am helping other people change their lives in addition to my own life being changed. So I'm very proud and very honored to be a part of the program and on the level that I am on. I'd like to introduce to you my coach, my other coach, Rosie Jones-Clark. She is our Debt Weapon coach and our membership chair. Rosie is the individual that you can contact if after this phone call you are interested in becoming a member. You can reach her at Rosie Jones at rosie@themaryfunding.com. Okay, everybody got that right? Y'all gotta, bear with me. I'm a little nervous because I gotta do this. So what we're gonna do tonight, we're gonna go over some of the foundations and things about velocity banking, what the Debt Weapon program is. And then tonight, after that, we're gonna do something just a little different. So just bear with me as we go through. So before I do that, let me just stop this for a minute. Do we have any new people on the call tonight? And if you are a new person, you don't have to say anything. You could just raise your hand because we just want to acknowledge you for you being on the call. And if you would like to say something, you will have that option. So if there are any new individuals, thank you, sweetheart. If there are any new individuals on the call tonight, you can just raise your hand. Or if you want to say something, you can say hi and introduce yourself. But please don't feel like you are obligated. Do anybody see anything? Because I'm trying to look through both screens.
Someone put anything in the chat.
Okay. All right. So we're just going to go ahead and move forward. And since there's nobody new on the call, let's just do this differently. So since there's nobody new on the call, is there anybody that have any good news that they would like to report this week?
I have some good news.
Hmm.
Renee and I talked through a process that would help me pay off my debt in a very, very fast way. And I sold my SUV and got it sold by Carvana very quickly. And I paid off about $12,000 in debt. And I am one step closer to, and I think I increased my cash flow by about $1,000.
Wow.
So my cash flow has increased significantly.
Yes.
And I've been blessed with a car that my parents gave me a car. It needs some, it needs to be fixed a little bit, but that money from the payout will pay for the car and its necessary improvements to get running again. And I don't have a car payment. I no longer owe some of those same debts, and I am one step closer to getting my my credit score up. And I paid off my my credit card.
Good girl. That is awesome.
Congratulations.
Tamika, I'm going to say
Thank
personally, you know you
you.
came a long way, right? In a short amount of time, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't want you to downplay your success. You've come a very long way in a short period of time. I'm very, very proud of you.
Yes.
I am.
Okay, now it's Dark Sable.
I know. She's stupid.
Yeah, I have to say that when me and Tamika first met, I mean, she was like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And she was like, with the neck thing, and we had our little battles, we had it out, but in the end, Coach Renee won. And
Renee, I want you to be my coach.
So we got it taken care of, and actually, she is actually in a position. Once we get a couple of things off that credit report, she's gonna be in a really good position. And Tamika, how long have you been in the program?
I've been really doing it since December. Just playing around since November.
So you started coming on the calls in like November.
October, I think.
Oh, October, November. You joined in December, and it's what, January, February. So
Yeah.
you had this kind of results in 2 months.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so her success in it is because she really something she didn't understand all the way, but she just did what I asked her to do. So we was able to clear up a lot of stuff for her. So I'm very proud of her. Can you all give her a round of applause? So
Yay.
I also have to give a big ups to Raquel, because again, being able to have conversations with people of now like mine versus having a conversation with somebody who doesn't know about this type of transformational work is one of the things that gave me the courage to be able to make the temporary sacrifice of not having a car, to be able to get the freedom of not having all that debt. So thanks, Rock.
I love you, Mika.
I know I love you too, girl. And I'm sorry I'm not like, woo, I'm not feeling so hot, but guess what? Next week I'll be hyped, more hyped.
Can I ask you a question real fast before y'all move on? I'm not sure. I can't remember your cash flow sheet. So when you first joined the program, did you have a positive or negative cash flow?
It wasn't negative, but it wasn't high. I think I might have had a cash flow of maybe $300.
Okay.
I don't even think I had that.
Okay. So you increased it about $1,300 now from moving all that debt out the way.
I think I've increased it more than that, to be quite honest, because I think when the next paycheck cycles, I'll have even more cleared up. So it'll be definitely able to velocity bank some more debt if I have any.
That's
I still
beautiful.
have lots of student loans and stuff.
That's beautiful.
Tamika, I forgot you owe me,
Yes, ma'am.
but I didn't report it to the credit bureaus.
You should have told me. You should
The
have told
Bible
you had more
says
money.
that I owe you love. I owe you love. I love you, Rosie.
Should have
That
told
I
you
will
had more
give
money.
you.
You should not told you had more money.
I'm always looking for the money, guys. I'm always looking for the money.
Wrong with that. Is there
Well,
any,
we can discuss another way to get another stream of income for yourself, but I won't be giving it to you, my sister. Wakanda forever. No.
Oh, girl.
Yes.
Who else got some good news?
yeah, is anybody else on the line have anything that they would like to share tonight?
I have a little good news, you guys.
Okay.
So I went online and I made a couple calls on some of my credit cards and I got a little bit of an increase, but it's something, right? Anything helps. And I got Discover It. I got $1,500 more. I posted on the Facebook and I saw Rosie. Thank you, Rosie. She commented. And then the other one was Citibank Costco. I've had that Costco card for many years and I called and just tried to get an increase on it. And they went ahead and gave me another 1,500. So I was excited. 3,000. It's
Congratulations.
something.
Oh, no, that's great.
That is great. That's great. So none of my partners are gonna say anything tonight? Raquel?
Yeah, come on now. You know you got all those words.
I'm gonna say something.
Go
All
ahead.
right, all right.
Right?
Today is a great day because we just closed on a home out in Tennessee today.
Yes,
Myself and my partners.
Yes.
that's
It's a great
right.
feeling to be an investor. It's awesome.
That's awesome.
Congratulations to everyone that closed today. My business partner.
And I gotta make sure y'all know y'all overpaid. He's sending money back, but everybody sent an equal amount. But he only mentioned 2 entities in there, so
Yeah.
make sure we talk about that when we get that check.
Okay.
So that tells y'all they was ready to gun ho. They actually overpaid.
Yeah, we was ready. So we pulled the trigger and so now we are homeowners in Tennessee. We have a strategy and a plan. And we hope to doing this again in the next 2 or 3 months. Because we're looking for this thing to turn over that fast. So I'm ready.
Yeah, we're excited. Thank you with all your guidance and leadership.
Absolutely. So 2022, the debt weapon program and its members are not playing. So guys, get your minds right, get your mind straight. So y'all know I'm about to get pumped up, right? Because I can feel it coming on. So let me ask this question. I always say to y'all, if y'all are with me tonight, put ones in there. But I'm going to ask a question tonight. On a scale of 1 to 5, tell me how you feel. Oh, look at, they all ahead. Look at, everybody's ahead of me. 1 being very, 5 being great. What is it? Oh, wow. Okay. So, somebody said a 10, a 5. Wow. Okay. Y'all with me tonight. But as I stated, we're going to do something a little different today. I know we always talk about velocity banking because nobody's new on the call, I'm not going to go through the whole debt weapon program and how we use velocity banking to pay down debt faster than any traditional way, and how the credit, how we use it to go ahead and make moves and get ahead. So I'm just going to go ahead and start get into what we're going to do new tonight. So
Renee, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. And I may have missed it, but did you actually say who the 3 families were that partnered together?
I did not, and it's okay. So we can do that. So the 3 partners that did that deal this week was myself, Rochelle and Armando, and Raquel and Raheem. So and it, it's like we had gotten our papers and there was we forgot to sign something or whatever, And Raquel had called me up. Rochelle called me. She's like, we need your papers. And I'm like, I didn't get them. So, and I needed my paper to be notarized. So I had to go last night. And I thank goodness I have a notary on standby. And that's one good thing I would like to say too. Like when you have a team in place, when you have situations that way, you have people in place, it's great to have, because it wasn't, the process didn't get held up because of that. So myself and Raquel and Raheem, we got that paper notarized. I scanned that thing last night. They was good. And then I mailed the hard copies today, so they'll get them in the morning. So I'm really, really excited. I'm really, really excited. I know that Coach Rosie's doing some investment too right now. So we want to make sure we give her praise for what she's doing. She's making moves. And we want to make sure that we get everybody on the debt weapon to be able to make moves like this. So we want to get you in a place where we can talk about your success, and we can talk about and have you share your stories. We can talk about we're going to have Woody and HL partner with so-and-so we can make this move, or Kosha and Tamika, or whoever it is. But we want to put everybody in a place so that we can make moves, because we've been at the bottom of the totem pole for so long because we didn't know and we didn't have the know-how, but now we do. So we want to make sure that we use it, right?
Right.
I want to thank Rochelle too, because Rochelle actually found this property, y'all. It's a beautiful property. It literally needed very little work. Our contractor said it's only going to be $4,500 worth of work.
Wow.
Thank you, Rochelle.
Yeah, thank you. And you know what? Thank God, because look, God brought you guys to Mondo and I. He did. And then God has his hands on everything with the property, our search. He's in the middle of everything, and he's guiding and directing. I really feel like it's him. It's our Almighty God who's blessing all of us, because he brought you to us. We would have never known. And we're finding these properties, right, you guys? So we just got to pray over our future properties that they're the right ones and everything works out. I'm so thankful. Thank you. So thankful.
But one thing is there's never bad property with the strategy that we use, because we've bought properties, 8,000 8,000 a piece. You know what I mean? So no, a little bit more, right? About 18. I think the lowest property was 18, and we was able to still finance them and make them work, and then flip them and make a good profit off of them. So there's never really a bad deal. It's just working the strategies that we teach in the program, and continuously be due diligent and working through it. But I definitely thank you all for having faith in and believing in me. And for those partners, again, I apologize for this week. Y'all know I've been out of the loop with family issues, but I love y'all, and I thank y'all for your patience with me.
And also, and Saber talked about the 18, but when we did our first deal, it was $18,000 for 2 properties. Wow. So we really did. It was $18,000 a piece, right?
Yeah. Is that what you were saying, Saber?
Yeah. Rosie, was that $18,000?
Are you talking about us with Saber?
Yeah.
It was $38,000 for 5 doors.
Okay, so it was about almost 20 a piece, so that wasn't bad either. But so tonight what I did was, because I was hosting the call this week, and we always talk about, Saber always talk about mindset and different ways how we're using debt to make moves and things. So I found a couple of videos that I thought was amazing, informational, and I thought you guys might get some value out of the videos that I found. So we're going to watch one, and they're only like 10 minutes long. So I really want you to listen though and pay attention to what he's saying. So the video is from Robert Kiyosaki, and everybody know who Robert Kiyosaki is, correct? He's the author of the Rich Dad Poor Dad book. And this was done back in, I think, 2019. And this says, I just want you guys to listen to it. It's about 10 minutes. So let me know if you can hear it.
Rich people cringe and say, don't tell them that, Rob.
Yes. Don't tell
I
them.
can hear it.
Okay.
Do the rich people cringe and say, don't tell them that, Rob?
Yes. Don't tell people.
See your video though. Are you sharing your screen?
Yeah, I
My
am.
father was the head of education.
Let me see. Can you see
PhD,
it now?
all that stuff. I go home
I can see it.
Okay, yeah, I see it now. I see it now.
Because the government doesn't let us teach that subject. The government tells us what we can teach and what we can't teach. And I thought that was strange. And I said, but are we going to school to learn about money? He says, no, your job is to get a job. I said, but you get a job to earn money. He goes, no, you're supposed to just get a job. I went, no. Isn't the purpose of a job to earn money? He goes, you're correct. I said, so why don't I just learn about money? I can skip the job part, you know? And he got flustered and he said, if you want to learn about money, why don't you ask your best friend's father about money?
No, Lonnie.
So I asked him. He says, because Mike's father is an entrepreneur. I said, what are you? He says, I'm an employee. I'm a government employee. I went, oh, what's the difference? He says, the difference is an entrepreneur must know about money, or they're no longer entrepreneurs. And he says an employee doesn't have to know anything about money. So the government will take care of them, the company will take care of them. So I'm all confused. But I took my dad's advice and I trundled over to Mike's father's office and knocked on his door and I said, hey, I'm here, 9 years old. Teach me about money. He says, beat it, kid, you know. But that's where the story of Rich Dad, Poor Dad started. And finally, through persistence, my rich dad started teaching me about money on one condition. And that condition was he would never pay me. He says, the moment I pay you, you think like an employee. He says, that's the trap. Entrepreneurs work for free. And now I'm 9 years old, my head's going cracking in half. He says, you never want a paycheck. You understand that, kid? I said, okay, I got it. And he says, well, how do I make money? He says, that's what entrepreneurs figure out. It's like, so how do I learn about money? So he would just break out a Monopoly game board. So I would work for free and pick up cigarette butts and get hotels and restaurants, and I would clean and do menial tasks. And as I got older, I started getting into office work, marketing, and accounting. I was an apprentice basically, but I always worked for free. And he would teach me about money. But the way he taught me about money was playing Monopoly. And finally one day I got upset. I said, well, when are you going to teach me about money? He says, what do you think we're doing? We're playing Monopoly. He goes, no. What do you think we're doing? We're playing Monopoly. He says, what do you think we're doing? So I don't know. I'm teaching you about money. And then that's when, you have one greenhouse. He says, there's many formulas for great success in money. There's thousands of them. But one of the best ones found on the game of Monopoly. Still is today. 4 greenhouses, 1-bed hotel. I said, what? He says, one of the greatest ways to acquire great wealth is playing Monopoly in real life. 4 greenhouses, 1-bed hotel. Is that all there is? He goes, that's it. And he says, what do you think I'm doing? And I went, I don't know. So then he took me out, he showed me his greenhouses. And 10 years later, when I was 19, I was now in school in New York, and I come back to Hawaii, and Rich Dad had bought the biggest piece of land smack dab in the middle of Waikiki Beach. And when you go to Waikiki Beach today, you'll see the Hyatt Regency Hotel. That was his hotel.
Just like the game of Monopoly.
Just like the game of Monopoly.
Acquired assets and they became bigger assets.
He just kept what's called an assemblage, because that property wasn't that big at the time. So he had to buy out all the small guys. Because Waikiki was a little dirt water little town. So he'd buy out this shop owner and buy that shop owner. And it took him a while, but he finally assembled this large piece of property. And then he and Hyatt put up this giant hotel. It just sold for $800 million. So that's how I learned about money. I've had financial crashes. I've had people stab me in the back, but they're all good because I grow from it. That's spirituality. People who are afraid of making mistakes, like they teach in school, they don't ever grow, because spirituality is there's good and there's bad, there's right and there's wrong, there's up and there's down. Most people only want to be right. They only want to be positive. Well, you can't have that. That's not reality. Well, I wasn't poor by most people's standards, but I came from a family with a poor attitude, if you know what I mean. Because rich, poor, middle class, poverty starts with a fundamental attitude. Poverty is passed on. It's taught in your families. And middle class is taught in families. And so the people right now who are sitting at home, who are struggling financially.
Oh,
Sophisticated business owners are
might have to
noticing
wait,
a very
guys.
unique reshuffling that's happening across nearly every industry across the world. Have you caught?
Okay.
Financially, or worried about money, or unhappy. They may be making a lot of money, but unhappy with what they're doing. It was probably taught to you. You know, your super ego was taught, get a job, work hard, or you'll never be rich, or the rich are evil, or whatever. So the school system will never teach you about money. The school system was designed to teach you to be an employee, which is important, or a doctor or a lawyer, a specialist, but never about money. And what most people lack is real business knowledge, like accounting, like debt, like taxes. You got to know that stuff, but they don't teach it in school to anybody. So, and then when people ask me, how did your rich dad learn this when your poor dad, a PhD, didn't? And the answer is very simply, my rich dad was my best friend's father. His father died when he was 13. So his rich dad had this family business at 13 to run. So he had to drop out of school, which was his blessing. There's blessings, and sometimes a blessing doesn't look like a blessing, but it turned out to be a blessing. And then his teachers became his bookkeeper, his accountant, his attorney, his banker, his real estate agents. So he has what I call real teachers, not these fake teachers in school. You see, most teachers in school, they're out of ethics. They teach subjects they themselves don't practice. I asked the teacher, I said, I'm in my third year of calculus now. It was called strength of materials. I said, am I ever going to use this stuff? He goes, no. Said, why do you teach it? I was like, I get paid. I said, do you ever use it? He goes, no. And that's why, you have to, in life, one of the things I suggest to people, you got to find a real teacher versus a fake teacher. And a fake teacher is somebody who doesn't do what they teach. And a real teacher is doing what they teach every day. So my accountants, my attorneys, they're in it every single day. That's how I learn, because every day I'm solving problems in my business. So I have accountants and attorneys and bankers and all these people on speed dial, because I'm solving problems with my team.
I see you giving this knowledge out, and
yeah,
do the rich people cringe and say, "Don't tell them that, Rob"?
Yes. Don't tell people what you know. Keep them poor. But unfortunately, the poor, as was in the Bible, I'm not real religious. The poor will always be amongst us, because it starts up here.
Right. It's that fear mentality.
It's in their words, and the words become flesh. Again, I'm not really religious. I flunked out of Sunday school also. But when they say I can't afford it or I can't do that, they go down. They become what they say. My PhD dad, he says, what do you think I am, made of money? I can't afford that. And my rich dad would say, that's why he's poor. Poor people say, I can't afford it. I can't do that. I don't have time. Because this is an escape. It's an escape. You know what I mean? It's easy to say, I can't afford it.
And your rich dad used to say what instead of, I can't afford it?
How can I afford it? How can I do that? What would it take? Or why should I do that? He says that a question opens the mind, a statement closes the mind. See, when you say, I can't afford it, your mind shuts down. And you become what you say. Rugby is a team sport, but so is soccer. The rules are different. And other people are golfers. They play by themselves. And so everybody's different. So my game financially is business, number one. Second is real estate. So what I say to young people is, you find your game.
All right, guys. So what do you guys think about that video? Anybody have any kind of input?
I think it was powerful.
Why?
Extremely powerful.
Tell me why.
it's powerful because you have a class of people that like the separation of classes in this country where knowledge is not evenly distributed. You know what I'm saying? So they deliberately keep certain classes of people poor because the rich actually make their money off the poor. And when you talk about poor people, and us as Black people, a lot of us fall into that category of being poor. You know what I mean? But we're the largest consumers in this country. We're the largest class of people that don't own anything. You know what I mean? So they deliberately keep knowledge away from us so they also can stay in this superior state. That's what I got out of that.
So do you
I'll
feel
do whenever it's time.
say that again?
I said I'd like to share too whenever you're done.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I wanted to say it hit home for me. We have 4 children. We have 3 daughters. Our youngest is our only son, and he's been struggling in school. So we pulled him out. We're homeschooling him. And this week for our coaching with Rosie, I had him join our coaching call. And so Rosie was really good about including him, and it helped me to see, what we already knew, but it just really brought to light that he's struggling in math. And I was thinking today, following through, teach him about money for his math, so that video really just helped reinforce and confirm that for me. So thank you.
Oh no, that's good. So that was part of the reason why I kind of wanted to do this a little differently this week, because every week we do the velocity. And it's great in reiteration. However, sometimes when you hear other things, it just opens up your mind to think things in a different way, right? So it's great. And I really wanted to do this because a lot of what Sabor teaches us was actually said in that video.
Yeah.
A lot of what he's been saying, so it really was done so we can kind of, not that he needed to be supported, but so that you can hear it from somebody else who don't look like us, but but telling you what it is, right? They don't teach us about money in school, right?
I have 2 things to say.
Go ahead.
Which one?
Go ahead, Tamika, you have it.
So the thing that he said so many powerful things, but your mindset, really, like, poverty is really in your mindset first. He was using biblical references. As a man thinks, so is he. And I know that the way that I deal with money was handed down from my family. And the fear as well was handed down from my family. And so I always had the desire to have more than they had. And I'm grateful that that desire is now turning into a reality versus just a desire. So what he said that really just rocked my world. It was almost what the last thing he said. He said, a question opens your mind and a statement closes it. So instead of saying you can't afford it, how can I afford it? Or what do I need to do to afford it? And that was powerful for me. I wish I had that understanding as a younger person, because I might be in a different place, but now's the time.
Well, good. I'm glad you got something out of it. Was there someone else that wanted to say something?
Yeah, yes, I would like to say something.
Keisha as well. She's had her hand. She had her emoji.
Oh, go ahead. If you're performing, then go ahead.
Thank you. That video was very powerful. There were many things that resonated with me. One of the things that resonated with me is when he mentioned how, what teachers do, and being a teacher, it's just like facts, I get it. And it just challenges me as a teacher. How can I incorporate teaching the kids about money? How can I teach our minority students about money so they can grow up knowledgeable, so they don't make the same mistakes that others who are African American or Hispanic or who are brown have made, and I'm speaking specifically about our people. Something that also resonated with me was the whole mindset piece, because, the whole velocity banking is a mindset shift, and how the mind, more so than anything in the way that you think, is more powerful than we tend to believe. Or, believing in yourself is more powerful than you think.
Yeah, I'm glad. Thank you for that, Keisha. Go ahead, Daniel.
Thank you. It's funny that you talked about jobs and how he essentially was working for free for however long that was, because when you came on the call, I had sent an email earlier to support asking if he knows of any careers to get into that would be beneficial in learning, investing, and everything that we're into. And he made some recommendations to me. And later I will ask him more about it, because one of them was abstracting. I hadn't heard about that. Mortgage, being a mortgage officer, that makes sense. But the point is, not just getting a job just for the paycheck, because doing that job on a daily basis, you'll be learning how to do due diligence that would benefit you in terms of investing later on, rather than just having the money and then being like, okay, so what do I do with all this money I have? Because the money can be made in many different ways, but if you don't have the right, if you don't know the steps in order to get the asset, you're essentially stuck.
Right. So again, right. So this program again helps us to learn how to get the I don't want to say the asset, but it teaches us a way on how to get assets differently than what we were traditionally taught in our years, right? We were taught save, work hard, save, work hard. But he said rich people don't do that. So I just wanted to bring that. So I have another video. Oh, y'all ready for another one? Okay.
Yes.
Bring it.
I got another one. Can you see the screen?
Enlarge it.
Okay, let me enlarge. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, so
How exploiting IRS code 408M3 can pay.
All right, I'll try.
The most obsolete idea is go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, get out of debt, and invest for the long term in the stock market. So why would you save money when they're printing trillions of dollars? The gap between the 1% and 99% is massive. You see, it's not just money. You have to step back and look at the bigger picture. So what do you do? In every one of us is a poor person. There's still a poor person inside me. There's also a middle class person. And the middle class persons want security. They want that steady paycheck. And there's a rich person. And they're all inside of us, except that it's not taught. You're taught to go to school, get a job, and get a paycheck. Not taught to how to get rich. If you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, my rich dad refused to pay me. He said the paycheck was one of the most damaging things you could take in your life. He says the moment you take a paycheck, you're an employee, and that's the mindset. So my rich dad never paid me. He drove my poor dad, government employee, nuts. You got to pay people. You got to pay people. And Rich Dad was not saying that the paycheck was bad. He says he didn't want to be a slave to money. So as an entrepreneur, if Rich Dad folded, I just started another company. I don't need a paycheck. I don't need anybody to take care of me. If my government doesn't like me, I move to another country because they need entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. So the entrepreneur is not so much the business. The entrepreneur is really the mindset and the skill sets and the different set of rules. You see, I don't operate, small business does not operate in the same rules as big business. Entrepreneur is a mindset first, a skill set, and rules. And depending upon whether you're an employee or a small business, the rules are different. The mindsets are different. The skill sets are different.
You could say one thing to somebody who's never been an entrepreneur and they're thinking about making the leap of faith into becoming an entrepreneur. What could you tell them?
Give me 15
seconds, and I'll show you
I'm
how to get
sorry,
featured
guys,
in
I
major
don't have
media like
free
NBC
YouTube,
News, The Today Show, and
skip
People
it and
Magazine.
Well, I'll just tell them the same thing that happened to me. You know, my last paycheck, I still remember it clearly. It was one of the worst and the best days of my life. And I was in Puerto Rico. I was working for Xerox, and my boss gave me my last, it wasn't a paycheck, it was a bonus check. I think it was about $30,000 taxable. It's the only problem with that. So I got this check and I went, holy mackerel. You know what I mean? So I was excited, but I was also disturbed. And so this other guy comes up to me, his name was John. And John says to me, he says, you're going to be back. I said, why? He says, because you're going to fail. I looked at him and said, look, few expletive words, because that's what he did. He left Xerox, failed, and he came back. And I said, look, you failed and you came back, but I'm going to fail and I'm never coming back. And that's the attitude. Do you know what I mean? If you say, well, if I fail, I'll go back to mommy and daddy, then that's what you'll do. So if you fail, that's when I became an entrepreneur, because I had no money. I had no money for years. You know, I didn't have a paycheck. But that's what my rich dad encouraged me to do. He says, when you don't have this paycheck, you get hungrier, smarter, and it's a test of your character. Will you become a crook? Will you become dishonest? Will you cheat and steal? Or will you become a better human being? So really, that's the benefit of becoming an entrepreneur, is you really find out who you are when you don't have anything. So you always have to look at the big picture. Too many people look at, well, what's going to happen to me? Well, you look at the big picture, you're also going to know that when something bad happens, something good's going to happen. Mm-hmm. But you got to prepare for whatever is coming. If you think next 20 years will be like the last 20 years, you're going to get creamed. You know, when you and I go to the supermarket and we buy a carton of milk, we always check for the expiration date. But most people do not check for the expiration date on their brains. Instead of get out of debt, I get into debt. You know, I just refinanced $300 million in debt. I went from 5% to 2.5% interest. I made a fortune. Every month, more money comes in because my cost of money has gone down. So while some financial experts are saying get out of debt, I'm saying learn how to use debt. So when I came back from in Vietnam in January of '73, the first thing my rich dad said to me was go to school to learn how to invest in real estate. It wasn't real estate, it was how to use debt and taxes. Debt and taxes make the rich richer. Debt and taxes make the poor and middle class poor. So all the rich guys who are doctors and lawyers, or, you know, those guys, they're getting creamed. They don't know why.
Doctors are getting creamed.
Oh yeah, they're making more money, but the take home is less.
Sure.
You know, my doctor just yelled at me. He's happy. He says, "Oh, guess what? I finally made $1 million." And I said, "Yeah, this was just 3 weeks ago." And so I said, "Yeah, well, how much you pay in tax?" He says, $750,000 in taxes. So his net was about $400,000. That's not bad. But when I make $1 million, I keep $1 million. And the reason is because I don't make it by working for money. See, if you work for money, you're taxed. So that's why lesson number 1 in Rich Dad, Poor Dad is the rich don't work for money. What we do instead is we create businesses as entrepreneurs. We acquire real estate. I don't invest in the stock market. Okay? So the reason is because as entrepreneurs, I have more control over my income, how much I make, and how much I pay in taxes. And because I'm an entrepreneur as well as an investor in real estate, I pay zero tax. So every time I make, let's say, $1 million as an entrepreneur, I immediately invested in real estate. I have a 4-to-1 step up. So I put $1 million in real estate. I get $4 million from the bank. That's why I love banks. But the banks are screwing everybody else. You know, terrible. But it's good for me.
That's why you say when you print, it's good for you, but when you print, it's bad for people that work for money.
Because when you print, savers get creamed and people who work for money get creamed. When they print, debtors get rich. You see, debt and taxes make the rich richer, and debt and taxes make the poor middle class poorer. When we have obsolete ideas, we get obsolete results. So what's happening for most people, the idea of going to school, getting a job, working hard, saving money, getting out of debt, buying your house because it's an asset, investing for the long term, is obsolete. The world has changed. The world changed in 1971 when President Nixon took us off the gold standard. and money became debt.
What if we get rid of school? Then what would happen? Would it be better if we had no educational system at all?
No, I'm saying education is more important before. It's just obsolete. You know, there's Moore's law, which states information doubles every 18 months. In other words, everything's obsolete 18 months. So, and this is a recent phenomenon. So when you come out of school, you're already obsolete. And that's why I'm the old guy, you know. I meet my friends who went to Harvard. Say, I went to Harvard. I said, yeah, that was how long? 50 years ago? Today, the banks are charging you interest to save money. In other words, banks don't want your money because they printed too much of it. And that's why there's this bubbles in stocks and bubbles in real estate and all this. People are dumping the cash. Because as I said in here, savers are losers and cash is trash. And yet people, well, I want a high paying job. Well, that's an obsolete idea. Get out of debt is an obsolete idea. You should learn how to get into debt, how to use debt to get rich. And they'll never teach you about taxes. The reason the 1% is way up here and the 99% are going this way is because when you print money, two things happen: inflation and taxes. It's going to crush you. And any entrepreneur thinks, I'm just going to make money and I'm start a business and make a lot of money because of what we talk about. They really have got to smell the roses, man. You know, that's not what the real entrepreneurs are doing. Most entrepreneurs, there's 28 million small business owners in America. 24 million are what are one-person entrepreneurs. They're called non-employee entrepreneurs. So and that's what happens is when people don't really understand what an entrepreneur does. So most big people are self-employed, but they're not really entrepreneurs. The self-employed pay the highest taxes of all. And nobody tells them that. Yeah, it's also called the entrepreneurial spirit. But what we were actually talking about was there's no such thing as a bad economy. You know, there's external, you and I, we all have an external economy, but we also have an internal economy. And the willpower is to change our internal economy. So for me, I can see the good and I can see the bad. I don't really give a damn because I'm going to be rich anyway. But a poor person with a poor personal economy, all they're going to see is a bad economy because they don't know how to make money in any economy. And a middle class person, they have a middle class economy. You know, what they want is a nice house, a steady paycheck, and the job and the car. And so when you take their job away, to them, that's disaster. Well, since an entrepreneur doesn't have a job anyway, it's no big deal. So all I'm saying to people, is what Bucky Fuller taught me, there's always two sides, you know what I mean? Unity is plural, at minimum two. So if you think the economy is bad, it's because your economy is bad. If you think that steady, employment is important, then you'll see an economy without jobs. Your economy versus the external economy.
Where you control versus where you can't.
I can control. So the real entrepreneur has an internal focus. But if they fall down, they say, oh, this is good because I'm going to go up higher. The average person will fall down and say, oh, I'm going to take some Prozac. Or somebody has the mistakes. Oh, the mistakes don't matter. Well, mistakes matter. It means you didn't know something. But a real entrepreneur, whether they fall down, they always can go up. They can stand back up and go higher. And no matter what happens to them, they get stronger and better and smarter and happier. But a person with a weak internal mindset is that they're so afraid of what happens, it generally happens. Like, people who are afraid of losing their jobs, they generally lose their jobs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
everything you.
Yeah, so the entrepreneur first job is to control inside here, not outside there. The moment you take that paycheck, you're an employee. You've got to be stronger than that. It's about inside control.
All right, guys. So, wow. What do you guys think about that?
I got to be first on this one. So he said a lot of things that resonated with me, that especially things I've heard over the years from my teachers and different mentors. But one thing he said that made me think about our program is he said, savers are losers and cash is trash. I've always try to tell people, do not save that money, put that money back to your debts to get yourself out of debts. And that way you can actually use yourself. You learn how to leverage your your adult report card, learn how to leverage your name in order for you to move forward in life. But like so many people, they've been taught to save, you know. I've talked to people that had saved 20, 30, 100,000s, and even sometimes in 401ks, you know, they, oh, I have a $250,000 in 401k. I'm like, that's not going to help you, especially if you don't know about money. Because as soon as you retire, you're paying off debts, you're taking your vacation, and now you broke, you know. So he said a lot of stuff that really hit home to me, especially the things that I've been taught and learned over the years. So I definitely appreciate that one.
Oh, awesome. Good. Anybody else?
Is it okay if I interject? So yeah, I really think I really liked how he said it's a mindset. It's like an internal focus, and he's right, because I think a lot of it relates to our class and how we come to the debt weapon, and we're learning that how to think different. We're learning where to put our money. Like, okay, money is money, but if you can use that to filter your life and live through your cards and everything, like live through all your credit lines, that is the money, is your credit. It changed from cash into that credit. Like that credit becomes the dollar in our mind. It just changes. I don't know, it opens up your mind and you see things different. You see it on a different level because I don't know, it's weird. It's like, you know, when we started out, we were told to do it that way. And you're right, you know, cash is trash. I mean, you're saving for what? You can't keep up with inflation. You can't keep up with the things that are happening in the world. And he's right. Like, I see it. I understand what he's saying. And more as I hear it, it opens my mind. So it's really amazing. I really like the video. Yeah. Thank you. I really learned a lot from that video.
Awesome.
I have a question. What do y'all think about when he says debt? Because you know, there's a difference between bad debt and good debt. So what do you think about when he said learn how to use debt? You know, anybody?
He's talking about leveraging.
Go ahead, Tamika. That's what I said. Go ahead, girl.
So your answer is that he's just talking about leveraging?
He's just talking about leveraging other people's OPM so that you can live your life. And so, you and I, Renee Raquel and I think, was having a conversation about debt and taxes. No, us too, and how, you know, we can do different things with the tax codes based on how we leverage debt. And if it's, you know, I ain't got nothing else to say except it's power.
I know when Renee first started doing deals with me, she always used to, after we finish a deal, she would always say, how does this affect me for taxes? And I'm like, Renee, I don't know what you're talking about because I never really have to deal with that. She's thinking of taxes as being an employee, you know, and right. I'm looking at taxes as being an entrepreneur. So I mean, when you ask me those questions, I'm like, I really don't have an answer for you. You have to talk to a CPA because I don't see the same thing that you see, you know, and I'm pretty sure anybody that's on the call that's are a W-2 employee. I call them W-2 employee. And as versus the business owners here, we see the tax breaks. We live the tax breaks. We work for the tax break versus the W-2 employee. You know what I mean? They don't understand the tax differences. So when you ask an entrepreneur about a W-2 employee tax level, it kind of doesn't, you know, make sense to me. I don't know how to answer those questions a lot of times. And of course, I'm not a tax attorney or a tax person anyways, but I really don't know how to answer the question because I live for the tax breaks by being an entrepreneur. I think for a W-2 employee is 42 tax write-off. For an entrepreneur is a 208. So, you know, it's a big spread there that you can have for your businesses.
Yeah, when I first started doing the with the partnerships and everything, I really was thinking as a employee because that's all we do. We work, we got to put extra $25 for state, extra $25 for federal, so that you don't go over and have to pay, you know, so you want to, because you're trying to get some money back. But as I'm learning and I'm going through this process with the things that I'm doing through my business, there is definitely a difference with being a working employee and entrepreneur. So I'm learning that process as I go. And I just want to say it is really a big difference. And I just have to make sure you get a good CPA because he's really helping me understand the process. So it is definitely a big difference. So how did you guys like that video?
Yeah, that was great. I liked it a lot.
Yeah,
Definitely, it was definitely powerful. On the very first one, I was going to say, and you went into it, but with the second video, and it's really about your mindset. And he talks about what I was thinking, your internal self, what you're saying concerning your situation, opposed to what the external is saying. And that was so powerful. And it was actually a confirmation to something that happened to me today. And I was telling Renee about it earlier, that someone, started talking about, oh, there's no, people are trying to hire and it's hard to hire people don't want to work, and I don't know, good luck with trying to hire because you might not find anybody. And they were just throwing all this stuff at me, and I listened, and then I said, well, I don't know what everybody else is doing, but over here employees come to me frequently, abundantly, and easily. I don't ever have to worry about that. And I said, whoever's talking about whatever they're talking about in their world, they can keep it in their world, but I've created my own over here. And it's really about, the way that we think about our situation. And I love how he said, and in my coaching, I tell people, it's really about the questions that you ask. You may not, if someone asks you, what can you do about that? And you say, well, I don't know. Well, right there, it sets you up to never come up with a solution for your problem or your challenge. I don't know. And if you stay in I don't know, then you never come up with anything. But the moment you say, you know what, I'm sure I have an answer for that. And I'm going to really be thinking about what that answer is, and I'm going to come up with something, and it's going to be good, right? You position yourself to come up with the very best answer you could possibly come up with. But if you always never know, then you stay in that I never know phase of your life. And so it's really important that the mind, that we gather our thoughts and think about what other people are saying around you and what you're agreeing to, because there's a whole lot of mess that's out there. Mama has said, daddy has said, auntie, grandmamas, school teachers, you name it, right? People have said some things, man, and we take that and we have grabbed a hold of it and we've kind of made it law in our lives. And so it's really important to kind of, listen to what's going on around you and really think about what you're agreeing to.
Yeah. Is there anybody else that would like to make any type of comments? So I'm going to say this. So for me, when I watched these videos, I watched them both like several times because it was really resonating with me. And there was a couple of things that really stood out. But as we learn this and then we talk about it and we do things, one thing that I'm finding is that really what we say is what it's going to be, right? Just like Rosie said. And then it started coming together for me. People make vision boards, people say affirmations, right? So they're constantly saying these things, or they're constantly having these visions about what they want out of life, and things come into fruition from vision boards. They come into fruition from things that we say. So that's why when we do our declaration, every time we come on, it's because we are speaking that thing out, right? I am not a consumer. I am an investor. And believe it or not, I went to Marshall's today and my old me wanted to really shop. I wanted to go crazy. I seen a lot of stuff that I wanted, but that came to my mind. I am not a consumer. I am an investor. And it kind of really stopped me from going crazy in the store that I normally would do.
I think Raheem wanted to say something.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
You saw that, Rosie?
I did.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
That's all right. One of the things that stood out in the first video, I actually saw that first video before. He mentioned about how status, I'm using that particular word, is passed down. He said, so if you're poor, he said you probably were taught that. but not knowingly that you were taught that. And I thought that was interesting because, I got a lot of, wisdom from my grandfather about finance, but the old way, and that worked for him, and he's done well with that knowledge. But then I got to a point in my life where I realized I think I've gotten as far as I can get with that. And I did pretty well with it. Knowledge about velocity bank and stuff like that, these different methods, he doesn't know nothing about that. You know what I mean? But I knew that knowledge that he gave me, it works, but I can't take that into the future to get to really where I want to get. I've gotten as far as I can get with that. So like we said, it's definitely a mentality change, and knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
want to piggyback, on what Raheem said about knowledge. What stood out for me about the second video was how he says about in a year and a half, information will be obsolete, and how we need to continue to learn, and how Sabor and Rosie and find out something, we're putting it on Facebook, we're sharing the information, we are saying what's going on so that we are not without the knowledge that we need to move forward. So that was powerful too. Keep learning.
Awesome. So that was what we did new tonight. If anybody else have any comments that they would like to make, or statements or anything, Danielle, I see the question in there. I don't, girl, I am not tech savvy, so I don't know how to put those links in there.
When you go to YouTube, play the
But I
video.
can just
Just hit,
tell
when you go to YouTube and you go to the video, you'll hit share and it'll give you the link to copy and paste it.
Oh, so let me see if I can do that then. Hold on.
It should be right on the video. You see share.
Yeah, I see share.
And when you click on share, you should see copy.
Oh, copy. Okay, hold on. Okay. I learned something new today. That's one. And then let me find the other one. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I just wasn't prepared to do that. Okay. So
y'all want to see my twin? This is my mini me. This is my mini me right here, y'all.
Very cute.
Wow.
Okay, so and then here's the other one. Okay, so y'all know that was our presentation for tonight, but after every presentation, I hope y'all took some notes because we got some questions, right, Sabor? And we're gonna get some money out tonight, right, Sabor? So Rosie, if you would like to, how we're gonna do this, whoever answers the questions. I don't have a big clear presentation like my mentor Sabor, where he puts it up and then he hits it and then the answer comes. I'm just gonna ask the question, and the first person that put one in the box can give me the answer, and then we'll see if yes or no we give the money out. All right. So the question, are y'all ready? Like if y'all ready,
get your ones on. Hold on, let me get my check set up here.
Okay, here we go.
Sabor did it. Okay.
All right. So the first question is, what is the difference between an entrepreneur and an employee? Go ahead, Tamika.
The difference is an employee lives for a paycheck, and an entrepreneur lives to find a way to make an income and not be a slave to their paycheck.
That's true, but that's not the answer I was looking for, but we'll see.
Okay.
Raquel. Raquel?
An entrepreneur must know about money, and an employee doesn't have to know about money.
That is correct. So that was like powerful to me. I don't know if that stood out to you guys, but an entrepreneur must know about money. That was like really just something that stood out to me. So yes, that goes out to Raquel. All right, y'all ready? Everybody's probably gonna know this one, but what was the game?
Dang, Rocky.
Raquel.
Monopoly. He said play Monopoly in real life.
That's right.
I need 3 greens and I'm going for a red.
Okay. And then
hold on.
okay. One thing you should not be afraid of is what?
Raquel.
Failure.
Yep, making a mistake. What you was taking notes, Raquel?
Yes, ma'am.
Sounds like
School.
it.
Jesus. Okay, here we go. Okay. What or how does poverty start?
Wait, I don't know who hit it first. Y'all doing it so fast.
Raquel.
Raquel.
Is it on me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Poverty starts at home in the mind.
Yep, it's taught. Okay, we got a line there, Rosie.
Yeah.
Okay, so he made a statement, and it was a question blank and a statement blank.
Tamika.
A question opens your mind and a statement closes your mind.
Yes.
Or open.
That's exactly right. So, okay, I don't know if you guys got this one, but yep, you ready for a new one?
Ready?
Yes.
Knowledge empowers what?
Tamika.
Opportunities?
No, that's not what he said. Nobody got that one? All right, so he said knowledge empowers imagination. All right, so nobody got that one. Okay, and then you ready, Rosie?
Yes, ma'am.
What are the two things that make the rich richer and the poor poor?
Raquel.
Debt and taxes.
Yes. Okay, Raquel is killing it.
All set. That was it.
I have one more, but I don't know if I want to ask that question, but I'll ask it. He said in his book, blank are for losers and blank is trash.
Oh, that went fast.
That was Woody and HL.
Yes.
Okay. Cash is trash and cash is trash and something for losers. Oh, I can't remember.
Raquel is next.
Am I?
No,
cash is. Are you?
No, it's Woody HL and then it's Raquel, it says.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cash is trash and jobs are for losers.
Who?
What is for losers?
What's for loser? Jobs are for losers?
Jobs?
No.
Oh.
Tamika?
Cash is trash and saving is for losers.
Yeah, there you go. That's it.
So quick.
So
Jasmine's on?
Well, that is
Jasmine.
for tonight. And I hope that tonight you guys got a lot out of those videos. I hope it kind of opened up your mind.
Sorry, it was a total of 8 questions.
Yes.
Okay, so I got Raquel for 6 and Tamika for 2. So Tamika getting 50.
No, wait a minute, because it's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Raquel got 5. Tamika got 2 because nobody answered the question about knowledge and power is what?
I'm sorry, it was 5 questions.
No,
we didn't answer one.
I didn't get answered. So Raquel got 5 and Tamika got 2.
And yes, I know what I'm doing with that money, Renee.
It's only $50. Oh, I got you. You said, okay, I'll take that $50. I'm taking that $50 for board.
I know that's right.
So Tamika, I'm gonna let you know you only supposed to got 1 though. You know that, right? That last question is after the second person tries to answer, it goes back in the pot. But you were already.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's
I'm
fine,
sorry.
but you're already on it. I'm giving it to you though. I'm giving
Which it should have came to Lovely, right?
Oh no, I think Lovely. No, Lovely. I think you didn't have it before her. I don't think your number was in there before her.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know what? You know what's interesting?
So normally, what I do is Lovely. I'll do first person, second person, nobody, the second person can't answer it, then it's just a dead question. So Tamika was actually the third person that tried to answer that one. That's why I said that.
Okay, okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, and Debt Weapon members, thank you for being on the call tonight. Like I hope this was enlightening and you guys got something out of it. I was a nervous wreck. I didn't know how this was going to go over because it was something new and something different, but the feedback was amazing, encouraging, and it just let me know it was just something that we needed to hear. So thank you all for being on the call. Like I said, we don't really want to keep you more than an hour. But I need Rosie and Sabor just to stay on for like 5 minutes, if that.
Thank
Renee,
you.
Renee, you did a wonderful.
Have a good night.
Renee, you did a
Good
wonderful
night.
job.
Thank
Renee,
you.
Renee, you did a wonderful job, Renee.
Renee.
You did a
Yes, you did, Renee.
you did a wonderful job,
All right,
Renee.
Renee.
Good night.
All right, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Hi. Tell Lonnie I said FaceTime me.
I will. Raquel, I didn't hear what you said.
No, I was telling Rosie to tell Jasmine, I want some sugar.
No.
Can you guys hear me?
He's off the phone driving, Armando.
It's Armando.
Hey, Armando.
Yeah, I'm driving. Dude, you need me to? You need us to be on the stay on the line?
No,
No, but I'm going to set up a meeting with Poncho.
Okay.
I'm going to set up a meeting with Poncho so he can get the keys and start the rehab. Just to let you know. But I'll talk to you all before we do that.
Okay. All right. No problem. Great meeting. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Sabor, how do I make you back the host?